glad to have Christine Samuels on today. I know she's meant a lot to my wife, and I think they mean a lot to each other.
Yes.
You have an amazing story to tell. You were married to an amazing man.
Yes, I was.
And he had he had a big heart. You were telling me about him earlier. I just would like to give you an opportunity just to kind of talk about the things how you met Justin and all the things that you experienced all the way up until the time of his death in 2019.
Sure.
And then just talk about where you went from there. But let's start with just your story about y'all's the love story of the New Jersey
and the country boy.
Yes, the loaf of white bread.
Yes, the big old country loaf of white bread. I moved down to Virginia from New Jersey in 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, 2005. And I had worked in the court system in New Jersey.
Okay.
Prior to that, I worked for 2 attorneys. So I was looking basically from Amherst to Richmond area, going back into the court system.
Oh, cool.
And then my mother said to me, she was retired. She said, can you just take 6 months and help me get acclimated to the area? She was never very comfortable driving anywhere, anything like that. So I said, sure. So when spring came around, I was like, we need things. It was a new build, the house. We needed some trees. We needed, lawn things, because now we have an acre and a half. We're in New Jersey. We just had our little 100 by 100 lot, so I was like, I'm going to go to Lowe's. I had worked retail prior, and I was like, I'm going to go to Lowe's, get that discount. And my first day there, I met Olga Dawson.
Okay.
And we started talking, and that was, my first friend really that I had made. I knew people down here, but more in the Farmville area.
Okay.
So she and I became friends, and she started inviting me over on Sundays for dinner, like cook together. She's Mexican, I'm Italian. We like to cook. And NASCAR. And I'm not a fan of NASCAR in the least little bit. So it was always like, seriously, the race would come on and I'd like take a nap.
Oh.
But she was doing it because her husband's best friend, Justin, was there. He would come over every Sunday for dinner and to watch the race. And that was why.
Okay.
It took that man a while to get up the nerve to talk to me. You
seem so approachable with that Jersey accent and everything.
I think that's exactly it. Like he was like, he did. He said,
he's like, I've got perfection here. I don't want to mess this up. If I just watch her just like the race, I'll be okay.
Yes.
All right.
So it took him a good while to get up the nerve, about 8 months or so, to get up the nerve to
That's a lot of
really
races. That's almost a whole season of races.
Oh, nightmare. But no, nothing. My mom loves NASCAR now because my husband, but I don't. I never did.
Still don't?
I never did. No, I like football, baseball, and hockey.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a little more aggressive than my husband.
Okay.
But when he finally got up the nerve to ask me if I wanted to hang out, I was like, sure. And it was kind of awkward, our first little meetup. And then I didn't hear from him for like a few days. So then he called me to tell me that something had happened with his mom. And we were talking, and he was like, do you want to, have dinner? And I was like, yeah, sure. So he actually cooked for me.
Oh, cool.
He cooked for me. I went to his house and he cooked for me and made this amazing dinner. And I was like, damn, this man can cook too.
You're like, whoa.
But that was one of his things. He had to make sure that I could cook before he asked me, So he was too busy with the races to realize that I had been helping prepare meals this whole time. So, but yeah. And he told me that he was sorry he didn't call me right away, but he was nervous. I made him nervous.
Okay.
And no one has ever made him nervous before.
Okay.
And he wasn't used to being around another alpha type personality. So I said, okay.
I can definitely relate.
Yes, I think you absolutely can.
Okay.
And we have been described as what happens when an unstoppable force, him,
Okay.
meets an immovable object, me,
Okay.
or when a tornado meets a volcano.
Okay.
So that is, the two of us, and that's how we were. And we started really dating, quickly. Things got very involved where everybody said it wasn't going to happen quickly. I was going to realize that hunting was more important to him because it was General Firearms, the 2 weeks of General Firearms. And so everybody was surprised when after hunting season, or during hunting season, I should say, I was there. Because, excuse me, he had never set time aside during hunting season for anyone or anything else.
Oh.
And I got an I love you. He told me he loved me first, not even 2 weeks into it. And that was like smack dab in the middle of hunting season.
Ooh.
Yeah. So everybody knew it was different. Everybody knew, like, okay, this is different. And we moved in together. I moved in with him pretty quickly.
Okay.
He had started talking about marriage, and I said, there's no discussion until you meet my family in New Jersey.
Okay.
But I'll back up a little bit. When he told me he loved me, I was like, you need to know like a couple of things. One, my mother will eventually be living with us.
Okay.
And two, I can't have children, nor do I want them.
Okay.
And he was like, I don't want them. I don't want him. He is number 2 of 7 boys.
Okay.
And, he was very involved with his brother's lives. And he's like, I'm good with us being the awesome aunt and uncle. And I was like, perfect, because that's what I like to.
Okay.
He was also a no dogs in the house type of person until I came along and we got my Jack Russell, Eva. And
It's not really like a dog, though.
no, but then we got my Akita Pitbull mix.
Okay, that's a little bit bigger.
And he was in the house. That was Gunther. So he quickly, the only rule he had was they could not sleep in the bed.
Okay.
Our bed. They could sleep in any other bed. They could be on the furniture. That he just didn't want them in the bed. Now my cat, on the other hand, she slept right next to him, and that was that.
Okay.
She would walk across me to get to him. But yeah.
Crazy how that works.
Yes. So, that was the deal, and we were both good with that. He met my family in New Jersey and was kind of taken aback because my mom is very the opposite of me, and my family in New Jersey is more like me.
Okay.
My mom was just always she still is. She's savage. She will cut you, like, verbally.
Right.
But, she's very much a lady. She's very much not like me.
Okay.
And my aunt, her sister, my Aunt Joan, who I love dearly, was wild. She's 10 years younger than my mom.
So just running wide open.
She's a hippie, yes. They
Okay.
smoked her weed 24/7.
Right.
And he was like, wow, she is nothing like your mom. I was like, I told you.
Yeah.
I told you, So it was funny when we got married because our families are so different.
So where did y'all get married at?
We got married, it's now my brother-in-law Gerald and my sister-in-law Brittany's farm. It was Ed and his wife, Ed Dawson, Keith's father.
Okay.
Keith and Olga, her father-in-law's product.
So it was down here in Virginia?
Yeah, it was in Amherst. It
Okay.
was in Amherst off 60 West.
Okay.
And
So you didn't make the trek back to New Jersey?
no, I didn't want to
So
go
when
back to
he
New Jersey.
so when he met your family, did y'all go to New Jersey? Or did they all come?
We
down
went to
here?
New Jersey.
So what did that discussion on the way back from New Jersey sound like?
He
That-
was, one, that was the first time he ever saw my road rage.
Okay.
That was the first time because I don't get.
That's not a thing for people from the north, right? New Jersey.
No, not at all. We're very meek and mild, and we don't scream at anybody when we're driving.
Okay.
Yeah, we're.
So you got to see some road rage.
He got my full effect road rage to where I'm driving because I drove everywhere. I have control issues.
Okay.
And I'm driving and I'm hanging out the window like
Yelling.
screaming at this woman who saw the sign for 15 miles that she was going to have to merge.
Okay.
And decided not to.
Until she got to the front of your car.
And yeah, until I made her hit the big orange thing.
Oh, you.
So I made her.
That's some active road rage.
Yeah,
I
I
can
wasn't
relate to it.
moving.
You're
I was. There, I couldn't.
immovable object.
Exactly. I
Okay.
could not get to the right. I
Right.
could not get to the right. I was in. It's, and I
You
wasn't
were doing what
happening.
you were supposed to do.
I was doing. She
So
decided to not
so
follow the
she's
signs.
it's
I
on her.
decided to enforce the rules.
Okay,
So
there you
well,
go.
that's all.
All right. So anything else
Yes.
that you remember about your discussion on the way back?
He was. I think he was surprised that it wasn't so city,
Okay.
because I am from. Most people would refer to it as South Jersey, except for the people who live there. It's more like central.
Okay.
Most people say there is no central Jersey, but there's like north, and then there's like south and like west. Like
So it's not necessarily a city feel. It's just, or is it a city feel?
there's a lot of people.
Okay.
There's a lot of people, but it's not like a huge sprawling area like the where I was from in Ocean County,
Okay.
in Little Egg, at the southern part of the state.
So you're just north of Ocean City, Maryland, then, right? Or is it?
North of Ocean City, New Jersey.
Yes. Or
Yes.
no? Okay.
Yes, or north of Ocean City, New Jersey. Yes,
Okay.
that's to me that's real South Jersey.
Yeah. Okay.
But he was surprised. He was surprised that when we came in through, crossed over from Delaware and we came through Hamilton, of the amount of farms. Like he was surprised at that. He was really surprised at how bad the roads suck, how bad the potholes are. He was like, "Do they not work?" I was like, "No, they do. They just don't, work on some of them. I don't know." But he was. I think at first he was overwhelmed by my family because while he and his family are a loud bunch, we're loud differently. I have had people say I do things aggressively, like I walk aggressively, I talk aggressively. Well, my brother was that way. And he only got to meet my one brother because my other brother lived in Colorado.
Okay.
But he met my aunt, and my aunt,
The
my
weed
cousins.
smoking hippie, right?
Yes, my cousins. And then he was surprised at how short I actually am because the rest of my family is tall. I'm not tall at all. I had to wear shoes that had a little bit of a heel in them so I could reach the floor today. So,
Okay.
so I had to do that because I've seen I've seen the video clips, I've seen the videos where, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to reach the floor. But anyway,
Well, you were reaching the floor.
yes, because of the shoes.
Okay.
But I think he was surprised. I think he expected it to be more city or just more urban, more of an urban feel where it has the area that I was from had more small town feel. And then my brother was a little further north in Ocean County, which was Point Pleasant. And, that's the beach is right there. That's, which it's all next to the beach.
So on the East Coast, who do you think has the best seafood? It's a tough call, isn't it? Or do you like seafood?
I love seafood.
Okay.
I grew up literally, you're driving and there's somebody under a bridge that just caught things.
Okay.
And that's where you get your seafood.
Okay.
So I can't.
Favorite seafood dish? Is it with an Italian twist?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
It would have to be cioppino or fra diavolo. It's just a spicier, like the cioppino is more of like a stew. It's got different types of. It's got mussels, clams, shrimp. You can throw other stuff in there. I don't eat mussels or oysters. That I do not do. But blue crabs are superior, their taste. It's just a lot of work to get things out of.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work for a little bit of meat, but the taste is so much better. I can't be this far inland and think, ooh, this is good seafood. I can't. Or fra diavolo, which is a spicy marinara sauce, with shrimp or crab or, whatever. My family, and I don't know how Italian, like I know other Italian families do it, but we do a crab sauce. We cook in spaghetti sauce. We call it gravy, but we cook, a crab gravy. The crabs are cooked in there. It's a little spicier. And it's just that's my favorite. My mom's
Over pasta.
my mom's is my favorite of that. But yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's my favorite.
So y'all get married. What year did y'all get married?
We got married in 2010. We
Okay.
had been together for a little over 3 years at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you have this amazing wedding. So what were you doing at the time? What were you doing? Or do you have any really funny stories from, I mean, I think everybody has their own marriage story of like the day that you got married. When Amber and I got married, one of our kids came up to us and, while we were doing our dance and tried to hand us a fork to eat a piece of cake. And I was like, well, it's an informal thing. So it was a special time. So anything that you think
Oh,
about
gosh,
with your
yeah.
marriage that you were like, man, this is something I'll remember.
Yeah, we so first of all, we had this huge tent. I kept one of my best friends kept calling it the fairy tale tent because there's this huge white, tent.
Okay.
And it's set up in the middle of the woods where you couldn't even see it from, anywhere else.
Okay.
And it was this perfect spot, and my brothers-in-law came up with this genius idea to enclose the generators with bales of hay.
Okay.
So it quieted them.
Okay.
It didn't. They didn't. No,
You didn't
no
hear?
fires.
Okay.
You didn't hear any of the generators running.
Okay.
Because we had, I think, like 5 or 6 generators running.
Okay.
Because we had the food that me and Justin. Well, me, my mom, Olga, my brother-in-law Johnny, we cooked all of the food for our wedding.
That's awesome.
And our wedding was, the Jersey Shore meets the holler.
Okay.
And our food was the Jersey.
Did you have that
like,
on your napkins? you should have put it on.
We should have. We absolutely should have. Because we had the country folk fist pumping and the Jersey folk flat footing. Like it was
It was a merge of culture.
It was. My aunt got into the.
But it sounds like everybody pretty much embraced it.
We had an amazing time. And people talked about the food. People still talk about the food. And it was literally Italian meats. Like I had my Italian dishes, and then we had our, country dishes. We had stuff for the kids. Like, we did everything.
But I think that's one of the coolest things about a marriage and people coming together like that is that like if you meet that happy like merge,
Yes.
it's just phenomenal. And
Yes.
I think that's just like y'all. What you and the two of y'all had built,
Yes.
that brought all that together. And
Yes.
it's just, I think that's pretty much how your life was after
Yes,
that.
yes, it was, a mixture. Like that man taught me how to drive a dump truck that had a 16-foot bed on it and dump a load of 16-foot, logs, trees when we were logging. Taught me how to operate a Cat 955L with a 4-yard bucket.
Okay.
Or a 3-yard bucket. And, so they were the things that we did.
Did you have any road rage with that?
Nope. You can't get road rage on it because you are not moving fast enough to do anything.
Do anything to anybody?
It's just like when he first told me, he's like, I'm going to teach you how to operate it. I'm like, where's the fucking steering wheel? And he's like, nope, it's all foot. And I was like,
What?
All right. I couldn't reach.
You couldn't reach the pedal?
No, because the seat didn't move up. And he had to put like something behind me so that I could operate the thing. Yeah, I had to like slide forward.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing. Well, no, the dump truck. I can say this because I think we're beyond the statute of limitations, but I do believe that we were supposed to have our CDL to operate the dump truck because of the air brakes, and I'm not a feather the brake type of person.
Well, you get on it.
And we were coming out of Bailey Sawmill.
Okay.
Or Bailey Sawmill, but yeah, that was the sawmill back there. And, coming on a 60, and he's like, all right, babe, just, inch forward. So I'm like, okay. And I look, and he's like, babe, easy on the brakes. And he's like kissing the windshield. He's like up in the windshield. I was like, oops, okay, we got it. But yeah, our wedding was, when worlds collide. We were when worlds collide, and it was that way with so many different things, like what was tradition for him versus what was tradition for us, and what became our traditions.
So talk real quick about some of the traditions that you had. I mean, I feel like you have like a really rich culture on both sides. What does that look like when families get together for holidays and things like that?
Oh gosh, holidays. So Justin wasn't huge on holidays when we first started dating.
Okay.
But he quickly wanted to do this every year, wanted to have
A tradition.
a tradition.
Okay.
So we do what we call the Sam Fam Christmas.
Okay.
That is usually a couple of weeks prior to Christmas. And that's only that way now because everybody started having kids.
Okay.
Prior to, we would do it pretty much right around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, whatever it was. But you have to understand that when we are all together, just the immediate Samuel's family and the Dawsons, it's 30 people.
Right.
Okay. I always say we were, and nobody might get this reference, but we roll deeper than Wu-Tang in 92 because we go deep. You know, there's a lot of us. I can remember, like, gosh, so many.
But they would
different
never
things.
probably put you together unless you were talking to each other. You're
Exactly. Like, you know, and that's-
here comes the Jersey Italians.
Yes.
And the white bread.
And the white breads, the country folk. But and Olga is Mexican from California. So
Olga.
yes.
I thought she'd be Russian or something like
Everybody always says that. Olga is actually a very traditional Hispanic name.
that. I would have never.
Very common. She was named after her aunt. So yeah, and that's another thing. I say aunt. I don't say aunt. It's an aunt. It's my
That's what
aunt.
we step on.
Yeah. I don't know what an aunt is.
An
but,
aunt.
But yeah, so we
So
you
what's
know
the same? What is it called? Sam?
the Sam Fam Christmas.
Sam
And
Fam.
our
Okay.
our group chat is a Sam Fam
Okay.
group chat. But we get together and it's gotten so big that, you know, at first we would do it at my house where I am now, mine and my mom's house.
Okay.
And we would do it there.
Okay.
But then people started having kids and then it's a lot. And so now we've definitely outgrown that space. But we have it at Keith and Olga's garage, which is huge.
Oh,
It
that's
is
cool.
huge. So we have many a party in there.
Okay.
We break out the tables and the chairs. We set everything up. You know,
Kids can run free and
exactly. They can run around the property. Up most of the time because there's a shooting range. So most of the time people are shooting. Like, well, that's kind of calmed down. But yeah. So it's been 17 years of tradition, you know, doing this. And we will pick a name, you know. It used to be, well, we used to pick a name. And then when the kids started coming, we're like, oh, we're just buying for the kids. And then we started doing Dirty Santa.
okay.
So some of the gifts are amazing. Some of the gifts, you know, the guys picked them out.
Oh,
You know, the guys picked them out.
Didn't spend a lot of time
No,
thinking
it's,
through that.
you know, it's a case of beer. It's a bottle of Jack. It's, you know, very, very obvious things. Some don't even wrap. Sometimes they're just in the Food Lion
Look at
bag
that.
or Walmart bag. Yeah.
For the ABC bag.
Excuse me.
So you have all the Christmas traditions and
Yes,
everything.
we have
else.
that. And Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving too.
And so one of the traditions, and I know this is not the best part, but like one of the
Easter roast.
traditions that you have is the tradition that you had of like opening day.
Yeah.
Opening-
Opening day of General Firearms has always,
That's pretty cool because he also told you he loved you, didn't he?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
The hunting season, while as a wife, oh my God, it can send us to the edge
okay.
because they forget
That they're married.
They forget they're married. They forget that they said this. I'm going to pick somebody. I'm going to pick him up, which means I'm going to have to drop him off at wherever they're starting at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's frustrating. But the guys, the majority of them would take the full 2 weeks. And that was that 1 year. 1 year, sent them all to my brother-in-law Joseph's. I cooked a week and a half's worth of food for all of them. And I was like, I don't have to worry about it now. I don't have to worry about it. You just seriously call me if you're in a bind because you can't get somewhere because they love to, drink during hunting season. And,
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, they drink their beers, tell their stories. But opening
But
day.
the big one that got away.
Yeah. But opening day, has evolved into an oyster roast.
Okay.
Because usually Trinity Church has their oyster roast the week before, or somewhere right around there, and it's good oysters. I don't eat snot, so I can't tell you exactly what it's about. But
You've heard stories.
yeah, they enjoy their. I'll go there. I don't. But he would go to the oyster roast. Justin would go to the oyster roast every year or two at Trinity. But they do this thing, when they have their opening drive and they hunt throughout the day. They have a system. The system is they have a deer locker over at my brother-in-law Gerald's where they hang the deer, and that's where they'll skin and,
Quarter them up and everything.
quarter them up. Then they move it to Keith and Olga's house where he has in the garage autopsy tables, basically, stainless steel or steel, whatever they are, tables that can get hosed and bleached down, and they process all the deer. They make jerky, they make summer sausage, it's 2 weeks of them doing this. It's 2 weeks, and you don't have to get a deer to get meat. If you help process, you get meat. I don't eat deer meat anymore. When me and Justin were poor, that's how we referred to it all the time. When we were poor,
Right.
we ate a lot of deer meat, and I made a lot of bread and pasta. He loves deer meat and decided he didn't want to eat any more bread and pasta. I decided I hate deer meat, didn't want to eat any more of it, and I'll keep the bread and pasta.
Okay.
So that was, we were...
I mean, it's an acquired taste.
Definitely, yeah.
If you don't acquire it, you don't have it. So.
Yeah, well, I beg to differ.
So talk a little bit. I know definitely was a life changing day. But
Yeah.
Talk about opening day 2019.
So 3 days prior, my neighbor was out front and he was crying, or 2 days, but I don't remember, 2 or 3 days prior. And Justin was getting ready to go to work, and he was like, came around, he was like, "What's the matter?" And Carson, my neighbor, he was 18 at the time, said that his best friend had killed himself. And he just needed a hug. And Justin gave him a hug. Justin was like a father to him. He was very much a father figure to him. Carson had the code to our house, like on our keypad. Justin taught him how to drive. Justin taught him how to do a lot of things. Justin,
How to be a man.
yeah, how he should carry himself in public, how to speak to people. At this point, we had kind of pulled back a little bit from Carson because he was disrespectful. He was super disrespectful. And he had his issues, and I don't know the full extent because I wasn't told about his issues in depth. I wasn't told how bad they really were. I wasn't told anything about that. But anytime his mother reached out to me asking if Justin could reach out to Carson, I made it happen. And Justin always willingly did it because he genuinely liked the kid and wanted to see the kid succeed. So his mother had reached out to me, and I reached out to Handsome, and Handsome was like, no problem, taken care of. I already talked to him anyway.
And we're saying handsome is just.
Yes, sorry. Handsome. He is, my license plate says Handsome. I have always referred to him as Handsome.
Okay.
He's my Handsome.
I thought you'd have white bread or something.
No, he's my Handsome, my bubby, my beautiful boy. But Handsome was the most common.
Okay.
Most common.
So you have a troubled neighbor, and your husband's reaching out
Yes.
trying to help him.
Yes.
And it wasn't like just one day of that.
No, it was years. It was
Right.
years of it. It was years of it. Apparently, Carson didn't make it. They were, I think by the time Justin got in touch with them, they were doing their last drive over at Ed's, which is now my brother-in-law Gerald's. And he didn't hunt with them that day.
Okay.
But went back to Keith and Olga's to be with everybody.
And that was the
And
oyster roast.
oh yes, the oyster roast. And I was getting, I still to this day don't know exactly what was going on there. I was getting different things. I have his mother texting me, telling me that he's just been so upset. And then I have my sister-in-law saying he's a mess. I have Olga saying he's a mess. I'm thinking, he's crying, he's doing all these things. And I'm like, being a bitch to everybody because I'm like, please just understand that this kid just lost his friend.
Right.
I'm being very protective, but not, I'm just going by text. I don't have videos. I'm not there. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And then Olga had texted me and was like, he's going to have to leave.
Okay.
And I said, it's that. She was like, he's being extremely disrespectful.
Okay.
So I said, okay. And I texted Justin and I said, please just make it home safe. And he said, I will. And they got home. They pulled in my driveway. Justin had Carson with him. Carson had driven there, but Justin had Carson with him because apparently the kid was messed up, whether it was drugs or alcohol. I don't know. And Brew had pulled in behind him.
Bruce's best,
Yeah.
Justin's best friend.
Yeah, Brew Norconk. And Brew's one of those, brothers that isn't biological. And apparently what had happened while they were at Keith and Olga's is Carson kept going to his car. And at one point he took a backpack out or had his backpack and a handgun fell out.
Okay.
Justin scooped it up, gave it to Brew, said, hey, can you hold on to this? And Brew said, no problem. So Brew followed Justin home because there was some concern about getting him in the house, things like that. I was outside decorating for Christmas. They were talking normally, about 10 minutes in the driveway. And I could tell Justin was tired because he wasn't saying much of anything. But, they were just kind of laughing, talking. Nothing was going on. At this point, I do believe his mother had come out and they were still in my driveway. Mm-hmm. Our driveways are literally like my property goes right to theirs. And I heard Bruce say, well, Justin said, all right, we got to wrap this up. I'm going to bed. We're done for the night. I've been up since, whatever morning, whatever time. And Bruce said, oh, we got one more thing, one more piece of business to handle. And he said to Carson, do you mind if I hold on to this gun just for tonight? You're not in your right mind. No, he didn't say you're not in your right mind. I don't want you to hurt yourself or somebody else. Like just,
Yeah.
it was like a switch was flipped. Carson started screaming about MS-13 and there's bodies on that gun. Like he went from the country boy to like
a
street
thug.
Right. It's like thinking he's like got street cred and he's, part of a gang and just telling them he's going to kill them, all this shit and going on and on and on. And I'm losing it. I'm like, I started recording and I start walking over there and it had gotten quiet. Well, Carson was screaming, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And then I heard the door close as I'm like right there. And because they had moved over into Carson's driveway at this point. And I lost it. I was like, I'm calling the fucking cops. I'm done with this shit. I'm sick of living next to this. I am sick of this kid and all of this shit. I'm calling the cops. And I walked back up and I was on the porch and Justin was like, babe. He came running over. He's like, babe, don't worry about it. He went in the house. Don't call the cops. Like he went in the house. Like it's done. It's over with. And I was like, all right. But if he comes out of that fucking house, I'm calling the cops. Mm-hmm. And I had gone back inside for maybe 5-6 minutes. And I came outside and I was finishing doing up some decorations on the porch. And I started walking over there because it was just Justin, Brew, and Carson's mother. And I started walking over there, and I heard the front door open to Carson's house, and I heard him come down the steps, but he wasn't yelling. He wasn't nothing. He was completely calm, and I could hear him walking on the sidewalk as I'm walking on my sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "You want to see what I'll do?" And it was immediate gunshots, 2 to 3 shots, a tiny, tiny pause, and then 2 to 3 shots more.
And that's when you started inside, correct?
I turned, I was dialing 911 as I was running up the steps. And I'm screaming at my mom. He shot them. He shot them. And she's like, I don't think it was comprehending. She was like, Chris, do you know that for sure? Like, what's going on? And I was like, he shot them. And I'm on with dispatch. And I'm in my laundry room. And I had to open the window because that looks out right over.
What time of day is this? Is it
9:04 p.m.
So it's dark. It's dark outside, so you really can't see a lot of anything.
No, and it was so dark that night.
And we're not talking about like a city street. We're talking about like
there's no lights. There's no lights.
Right. Just a little light of whatever's coming out of the windows.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're on the phone with 911. And all the emotions and everything that are going through your mind and everything else.
I'm screaming for Justin.
No.
Screaming for him. Because in my heart, I knew he was gone. No. Because the first thing he would have done was yelled out to me.
I'm okay.
To get in the house. I'm okay. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And he wasn't saying anything.
Right.
And I just kept screaming. And I didn't hear anything from Brew. And then I heard moaning.
No.
And dispatch kept asking me Justin's name and what happened. And I'm losing it. Like, I've spelled his name. I've said his name. I've said 8 times. Like, please, just please.
Send somebody.
Yes. But now I understand that Carson had called 911 twice.
Okay.
While I was on the phone. And part of me thinks there might have been another, I don't know. But I hear Brew moaning. And I'm like, Brew, what is going on? He's like, I don't know. I said, do you know if Handsome's all right? He said, I don't know, Alpha. I don't know. Alpha's nickname that Brew.
We know who Alpha is. Alpha is
that
you.
Brew called me. And he said it's bad. And he was talking about himself. Oh, Brew had called 911 also. Yes. Okay. He drug himself because he had, I think, at least 2 shots center,
his abdomen.
And he drug himself.
We're not talking about like your average person. I mean, this is a Marine.
He's a Marine, yeah, and Justin was Army. Mm-hmm. They're military.
So they knew what was going on.
And Brew had drug himself and climbed up into his truck to get his phone so that he could call 911 too. And he was like, he asked me, did you call? And I said, I'm on the phone with them now. He said, are they coming? I said, they're coming, Brew. They're coming. And I'm not hearing it from Justin.
And you're still inside? You're just yelling out the window, I guess?
And at first, dispatch asked me if I could go outside to look. And I said, he was shooting. He was still out. I could hear yelling at first, that he was still outside. And I didn't get shot. But I just wanted to get to Justin.
Yeah.
And I went outside. She said they should be there any minute. And I went outside and I was yelling for Justin. But I'm tending to Brew.
Because you're at his truck, right? And at this point, you don't know where Carson is.
No, I didn't know where him or his mother were. I knew she was alive because I could hear her screaming. But I had my phone in my hand, and the police pulled up, and it was so dark that night. And there were two different cars, and they get out of their car, and I hear them, like, I'm talking, I'm like, it's next door. And then I hear them, like, put your hands up, and I'm like, shit, my phone is in my hand. Like, I didn't even, you know what I mean? Like, it's so dark, and I just, like, tossed my phone, and I'm like, he's next door. He shot them. And I'm like, I don't know where my husband is. And I remember paramedics wouldn't look at me. None of the officers on scene would look at me every time I asked about my husband. Like, I don't know who your husband is. And I'm like, the other person that got shot. Like, please tell me what's going on. Please just tell me. Is he dead? Is he okay? Please just tell me.
Because this is several minutes later. You still don't know.
And I remember one of the officers coming in the house with me, and I was so friggin' embarrassed because I had dishes in the sink.
It's crazy what you remember in situations.
I was
like,
so embarrassed because I was like, oh my God, the dishes. I need to do the dishes. And then I'm worried about the officer. I'm like, can I please get you some water? Like, do you need, and he's like, no, like, I'm filling up water for him. And he's like, how about you drink the water? And I'm like, but do you need it? You know? And it wasn't registering that he was gone.
You just didn't want to know. You wanted to do anything. You wanted anything but to know. I mean, you knew.
In my heart, I knew, because the first thing he would have said is, I'm okay, stay in the house.
And it was just reinforced by what everybody else is doing. And so you're already transitioning, trying to help other people figure it out.
And by this time, all of my family starts showing up. You know, you need a family to assemble. They are the ones. They're all military.
The same fam,
yes,
and the white bread was coming.
Yep.
Okay.
They, Keith and Olga, Olga was on the phone with my mom when the shooting happened.
Okay.
Keith and Olga, Jonathan, which is Justin's brother, Joseph, Justin's brother, Jake, Gerald, and Brittany, which all of the boys, there's 7 boys, they all have the same initials. So they're all J names, same middle initial. Josh got there fast, and he lives in Fluvanna.
Probably a lot faster than the cops should have got there, right? You're saying, how does family? It is
They got there so fast.
It's crazy when you.
But
think
I just remember, like, I know people were there, and I know some time had passed. But then I was like, Josh is here. Like,
how did he get here?
Like, that's friggin' fast. Like, he's a firefighter with City of Charlottesville. So
he knows how to drive fast.
Yeah.
So they're transitioning at that point to take care of you.
I get, like, I was, Mary and Jimmy, Alan were there, my friends, the Lindsays, so many people. And I remember, and I think at the time he was a major, Elliot, kept trying to get me to write my statement. Mm-hmm. And I'm not, like, I'm trying. But at this point, nobody has said to me that Justin was dead or alive. And I knew, but I needed to hear it. I needed to hear that he was gone. And I said to Elliot, is he gone? Is he dead?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, yes. Mm-hmm. And I went in the bathroom and threw up.
Those are like some of the most difficult. I'm not making excuses for anything that we
I
did,
understand.
but those are such difficult things because I always think about military families. And I remember reading one of the guys that had to come back and tell a spouse, that one of his teammates had been killed in Afghanistan. And he said he was looking and he saw the decorations and he's like, I just wanted this family to have just 2 or 3 more minutes of peace.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we forget, like, you already know.
Yeah.
You already, as the spouse, you already know. You have that connection, you already know. And maybe it's better for us just to like give you, and it's just.
I also understand too, from the standpoint of the police, that you're still trying to uncover what happened and you need real reactions, not scripted. You know what I mean? Like,
I think one of the things I've heard repeatedly from my wife about you is just how understanding you are and how you always seem to give people the benefit of the doubt. And
I do, but then,
but I also think that, like, the other side of that is in law enforcement, just hearing your story, man, we've got to do better. We really do. Because, like, y'all know, you knew after that first few gunshots, like, you knew he was gone. And I think one of the things that I think is the most difficult in our profession is to see people like you and think we can do better. And I don't want to leave it there, because I think one of the greatest things about your story is how you honored the life that Justin lived. And so talk a little bit about, like, that was such a dark place. It was a dark night for you. And even these
one
years.
of my clearest memories, and I feel badly, but I can't see Clay Thompson without thinking about that, because he was there until he was taken away. Mm-hmm. And he gave me his wallet. And on the flip side, Amber came in at the same time, but I don't know if it was that damn snowsuit she was wearing, but she was cold, so she came in her little snowsuit. And I just thought, oh my God, she's so freaking adorable. Look at her. Like, that was my first.
Don't ever call her adorable. I called her adorable one time in court.
She lost it.
Oh, she lost it. She lost her mind. She's like, I'm not adorable. I am fierce.
She is fierce. And she's adorable. She's got two sides, just like me. I've got two sides.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Her feet wouldn't reach the floor either.
Yeah, no, my feet won't reach the floor.
So talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about being a victim and of a violent crime, and how big of a role an advocate plays in that for you.
Full disclosure, I don't remember my first advocate's name.
I'm saying just an advocate on your behalf.
On my behalf.
Because I feel like between you and Amber, y'all established this connection early on, and she was your advocate.
She was my advocate.
And she was your champion.
My first advocate sucked. My first assigned advocate. I don't remember her name. She's not there anymore. But Amber was immediately, I don't know if it's because we do have similar personalities. I don't know if it's because we both have,
You're both alphas.
Yeah.
You're both alphas.
We can detect bullshit really quick.
Yep.
We have that. And I immediately felt safe with her.
You know why I think it is all those reasons, but I also think it's because she does this job for the right reason.
She does. She absolutely does.
And she saw you in your worst time, and she was like, that's who I'm gravitating to, and I'm going to take care of her.
That woman, let me tell you, I can't tell you the amount of emails back and forth and she would answer each and every question, even if it was asked 40 times prior. She would answer it. When it came time, she told me repeatedly, I will give information to whoever you allow me to. Mm-hmm. If somebody comes in here asking for information, I don't care if they're family, they don't automatically get that information.
It's your information.
You're the victim.
You own it. You own that information.
You're allowed to.
I will tell who you want me
Yes.
to.
I will tell them as much or as little or nothing, whatever it is. And she drove that point home with me.
She lived it.
Yes.
She lived it with
Yes.
you because she would go, I
Yes.
swear, as little as she is, she fights.
She is. She is a fighter, and I love that. And so when I'm like, okay, the family wants to come in to ask you some questions, to go over some things, is that okay?
That's the first time I met y'all.
Yeah. And she was like, yeah, but we have to meet over in the sheriff's department because there's not enough room
We
for
did
all
the
of you.
courthouse, though, didn't we? Didn't we do it in the courthouse?
No, that was the second one.
Okay.
That was the second or third one. Yeah.
I
No, the
remember
first
meeting
we
at the
were
courthouse,
down in
too.
the basement of the
Sheriff's office.
yeah, and I broke the chain thing going down the steps.
Oh, the plastic one.
Yeah, I did.
It's not very sturdy.
It's not at, because all I did was go like that, and I was like, well, good fuck. Now I destroyed some property at the sheriff's department. Okay.
That's the least. That's the least. That's the least they could do. We're public servants.
So, but she always answered, to all of us. She very much put herself out there and made herself available. Mm-hmm. And Lyle too. Towards Amber was my
Your point
number
person.
one contact. She was, and I am proud to call Amber a friend now. You know what I mean? Like when I see her daughter walking through the hallway at school, I'm like, as long as nobody's messing with her, we're good,
Oh, and you don't know how much we appreciate that. And so having an advocate like that and seeing someone be there for you,
Mm-hmm.
how does that feel now to be that for other people, like in the schools and stuff?
I have met with several students already, and I've gone like into classrooms, and I have told them flat out, if you cannot be your own advocate, if you are unsure about speaking up about something, I'll be that auntie. I will be that person who will speak up for you. I am going to, my job is to, like, per my, my job, the company I work for, is to help students and their parents with FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student loan, scholarship searches, comparing their aid offers, like helping them in that area. I am also in a situation where I can help, in my position, I can help students who have unusual circumstances, who maybe do not live with a parent, who are in foster, who are not documented, or their parents aren't documented. Many different things where it's not a traditional two-parent, but one parent, if they don't, because until you're 24, you have to go on the FAFSA. Like a parent has to go on the FAFSA. That's your contributor. A lot of kids don't have it. Their parents are incarcerated or addicted or whatever. So
It's not engaged.
Yeah, they're just not
engaged
at all.
And so for me, it has to feel really good.
It feels so good.
To be over, like, I will be your voice. I know
feels
what it's like
so
to not
good.
have a voice, and I had somebody
Yes,
give me my
speak up
voice
for me.
back.
Yes.
And so how does that feel?
It feels really good. Like one of the things we do as a family, the guys, which I had told you a little about earlier, but the guys every hunting season take up a fund, and it goes to families in the Amherst area who are in need at Christmas time.
Okay.
So that they can have a good Christmas, so that their bills can be paid. Last year, 5 families got $1,000 each.
Okay.
Last year, also, Beth, whose home burned down, she got a good chunk of.
How crazy is that somebody that worked at the sheriff's office that
Well-
a victim of a violent crime started a nonprofit
Yes. Well-
scholarship fund, and that money went
Yes.
to them.
All of the Samuels boys and Brew call Best Mom Mama Hunt. They're all family. So when this happened at that time, when we had been taking up money, they were like, well, we're directing, some of it's going to Beth and then the rest will go. And Beth at first, she was like, no, I don't. And they're like, no.
She's
like,
such a good person.
oh,
She
she's
is. She's
such a
phenomenal.
good family. All of them. They're
Yeah.
so amazing.
Hard working, white bread.
Yes.
Yes, white bread.
She is country.
Yes,
she
they are.
is.
I mean,
Yes,
she
is.
could live. She could live on the land.
Yeah,
she really could.
absolutely.
At 100, and all of them.
all of them, all her and her brothers, all could. The majority of my Samuel's family can live off the land. Like,
Yes.
they can all do it.
You'll just cook for them.
Yeah, I'll just cook
Y'all
it.
harvest it, and I'll cook
cook
it.
and yell at people when they need it. So, but
What's the name of? So just so we can, because that's one of the cool things about what we do is we can actually push that information out there. So we'll get I don't know if you have a link or whatever, but
I
we'll
do.
but what we will do is we'll definitely put it out there.
Okay.
And put out so what's the name of the
scholarship is the Justin A. Samuels Memorial Scholarship Fund.
okay, and so
And then the guys take up their own fund. They just call it the Christmas Fund. That is basically has been just them raising that money, those amounts. The people they hunt with, people they know, things like that. Even the scholarship last year, I was able to give 5 students $500 each. So I raised $2,500. One was to Spike hunt Beth's nephew because I put it to the family. I said, look, Spike is graduating this year. This kid has worked hard. And I know he'll have, he may not be in a lower tax bracket like some of the other students, but he's still going to have cost. And, he's going, big animal vet. Like he's doing the things. And I know
he does FFA.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I know damn
remember
well.
every saying his
Yes.
name.
Mm-hmm. I know damn well if Justin were alive, he would
Want to support somebody
Yes.
local.
So, that is what happened. And all of the money we raise will go to students at Amherst County High School.
Okay.
All of the money that's raised through the guys for Christmas will go to Amherst County families.
Okay.
If we get bigger, if we hit that nonprofit status, we will probably expand to Nelson because Justin loved Nelson County too. I don't know if we would go west or south. You know what I mean? I don't know.
You don't want to go north? Nelson, as far as north you're going to go.
Nelson's as far as north as we're going to go.
No, but in all seriousness, I think we'll talk more once
Yeah.
we're done. But I definitely would like to put something on our page
you.
to get
Thank you.
get the word out there because
Yeah.
I feel like y'all are doing all the heavy lifting and if there's anything that we can do to help that because like I said, I think one of the things is that there are a lot of people that get kicked and get knocked down and they stay down. And I'd like you to tell that. I'd like you to tell that story that you told when you were bowling about how proud of you he was and everything. And I think that's a good way to end what we're talking about. But I just like you to tell that story and any other story that you think about with him.
Absolutely.
About how proud he is of what you've done with his with his scholarship fund and everything else.
Absolutely.
Because he is proud of you.
He is. Justin was always proud of me. Always. We started each day by saying, good morning, I love you, I hope you have a good day. Mm-hmm. We ended each night by saying, good night, I love you. Thank you for all you've done for me today.
That's awesome.
And I'm proud of what you accomplished today. That's how we started every day and ended every day.
Quick question. Did he say at that time that you plastered him with the air brakes?
Yep, he did.
He's
And
like, thank you for making me feel like a bug today.
Even the morning that he woke me up and he was giving me a kiss on my cheek and I thought a spider was crawling on me and I square punched him right in the face in my sleep and I pull back and I'm like, what is going on? I open my eyes and he goes, hurts to hit steel, doesn't it? And I said, he's a little bitch. And he's like, I love you, baby. And that was that. So, yeah. So Yeah, even when I punched him square in the face for giving me a kiss to wake me up, how dare he? Yeah, he, whether I put his face with the air brakes in the windshield, he didn't care. He was proud of me all the time. If I cooked for him to take somewhere, he would come home and tell me how much everybody loved it. Baby, they loved it. They said it was so good. It was the best. He was like, and I told him, that's my wife. And we were bowling one time. And we were at the very end of the alley.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the whole other end of the alley. And I knocked down 2 pins.
Okay.
Two pins. And that man stomped and clapped and stood up and was screaming, that's my wife. Good job, baby. And it was 2 freaking pins. It was 2 he didn't care. It didn't make a difference what I did, how grand or how bad. Because even when I failed horribly, he was like, baby, that was great. I made pork chops one time. They were like freaking hockey pucks. They were so hard. And he was trying, and he was like, no, baby, I'll eat it. And he's trying to cut that pork chop, and the whole table is shaking. Like, my mom's like, just give it up, Justin. And he was like, no, I'll try. And then he put it in his mouth, and he was like, it's like pork jerky. It's great, babe. It's great. I'm like,
Well, I just want you to know how much I appreciate the impact that you've had on
thank you.
my life through my wife.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I adore her.
I get the joy of seeing how committed she is to us, but also how committed she is to other people.
Yes.
And it's great to hear it from somebody that
Yeah.
has at their worst. My
whole experience, and even though those officers wouldn't look at me, and the one I was trying to shove water down his throat, like from that moment through now, I've had nothing, with the exception of the one advocate. And again, I don't know her name. It's not Judy. I love Judy Brooks. Is an amazing.
we won't say their name.
Okay.
But I know who you're talking about.
Judy Brooks is an amazing advocate,
Yes, she
victim
is.
witness advocate. She's
Yes,
amazing.
she is.
And there was a woman who retired who was in there too, and I don't remember her name, but she was super nice. But there's another woman that I don't know. Anyway, with the exception of that victim witness advocate, the first one that was assigned to me, I've had nothing but positive experience, like through the whole, even at Driscoll Funeral Home, with the cops being there to direct traffic, with the ride from the church to the private cemetery, because he's buried in my brother-in-law's property.
So that's in Amherst too.
Out 60 West.
We had EW
Yeah.
on here, and like that's one of the things that he always did is he always made
yes.
sure families were taken care of.
He led it. Like, we also had the no, I don't remember their name. They are the ones that started showing up to military funerals to stop those fucking freaks, the Westboro Church.
Yeah, the God hates fags.
Yeah, the people who ride, the veterans who ride on their Harleys.
Yes.
They led, like, it was Vire, then them, then me, then Justin, then, so they were there too. And I can't remember their names now. But because Justin had a full military funeral, they were there. So
Yes.
Yeah.
That's, well, like I said, I never met him. But like, I love hearing stories.
Oh, he was amazing.
Yes.
I could talk about him for days.
Oh, I really appreciate you taking the time to come in and talk to us about like his life. Cause I do think it's important I think people talk, especially, they talk about officers that die in the line of duty and things like that. And I do think that quote of like, it's not how they died, it's how they lived that's important.
Yes. The hyphen.
And yes, and you're what Justin did for his time on this earth, what he meant to you, but also what he meant to everybody else.
Absolutely.
I think it's awesome that you came on here and told us about that.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.